Hey guys, today we're gonna compare the 4 available airsoft gun systems out there, really. So here we have on loan from Airsoft Master, and big thanks to them, is a Bolt recoil, electric recoil gun. Here I have my KJW M4 gas blowback. Here Braulio brought his Polarstar. It's a VFC body, right?
Yeah, VFC body.
VFC body and a custom front rail, but that doesn't really matter as far as the actual performance characteristics. So we have a Polarstar, and then here's the Tippmann, the new kid on the block that's supposed to be sort of a hybrid of all these 3 systems, because it could be air powered,
CO2.
CO2, yeah. So we're gonna shoot off a rig. It can take AEG mags just like these. These are all interchangeable, and like a gas blowback, it has recoil. So it sort of combines all 3 systems into one, and we're going to see how well it does that, and what's sort of the best platform if you're buying a new gun and you don't know what to get. You could choose from these 4, and we'll let you know our thoughts, and maybe then this will help you when you're out there shopping for a new gun.
We could go from price ranges, which
can
vary here.
Yeah, that we could start off. That's not going to be affected by the shooting. So
no, but it's how deep your wallet can go.
Yeah. So first off, you got the electric gun, the classic. You can get it with electric recoil or not, depending on what you prefer. I'm a fan of recoil, so that's why the Tippmann appealed to me in the first place. But something like this is the Bolt version on loan from Airsoft Master. Be sure to check them out. It retails for about high 300s. And the nice thing is that's pretty much all you need. It'll come with a magazine, you need a battery, and you're ready to run it. Then you have something like this KJW M4 gas blowback. Now, this is again about mid 300s, but unlike an electric gun, you need a few magazines because these are very low capacity, about 40 rounds, so you're not going to be able to get through too many games with one magazine. So the magazines are pretty expensive, about $40 to $50, and you're looking at least at 4 maybe to have a good productive game out there. So this is about mid 4s, high about $500 or so. Then you have the Polarstar, which seems to be the most popular option for everybody right now, and it's also the most expensive.
Most expensive, considering if you decide to go, custom, get everything, make it yourself. You're talking about VFC body is $200.
Yeah, first you're basically buying an electric gun, and then you're starting to put in everything into it.
Yeah, and then you can. Polarstar engine is $500 plus all the add-ons, like the Magpul stuff. And
plus the rig. You need the rig. Don't forget that. What's that? $300-$400.
About $300 plus, and then you're looking at
just before you could shoot it once. You're looking at over $1,000.
Yeah.
Then we have the Tippmann, which was supposed to sort of combine all these 3, but it still is pricey. If you're just looking at price, the gun itself is $450 right out of the box, and again you need an air rig and a few magazines. The nice thing is that it takes AEG mags, so you have good capacity, but just the gun and the rig, close to about $750, $800 before you could do anything about it. But it has the CO2 option, so you can't shoot it right out of the box. Maybe get a couple more of those mags, and so it's comparable to the gas blowback in price and equipment. Let's shoot them, and we'll talk about the recoil, the sound, the upgradability, customization, all that stuff. Yep.
Alright, so we just finished shooting up all the guns. We started off by going with this, and unfortunately we had a few hiccups with it, as he already had hiccups with it with the trigger. recoil is
Like
amazing.
it, right?
This thing has really beefy recoil with the HPA. Like,
how did it feel? Was it like the back and forth?
Yeah, it was really back and forth as opposed to the bolt where it feels kind of like Jello. That's as far as I can describe it. It was Jello.
It's probably just as strong if you put it like against, I don't know, a piece of matzah or something. They would both probably break it, but this one, it just feels wobbly. I mean, as far as force, it's comparable, but the bolt's very wobbly.
Yeah.
We both kind of came to that conclusion.
And as far as comparing it to gas blowback, I think that this could be a little stronger, but it's kind of
definitely more consistent. You see where we're shooting this thing, and it's just the mag drains and the rate of fire changes and the kick changes.
Sound-wise, this thing is frigging loud.
It's loud.
You're talking about if you're in a closed room, it'll blow your ears out.
You probably need ear protection for prolonged shooting. It's comparable to the gas blowback.
Yeah.
I think they're right in about the same thing. I was surprised how loud this Polarstar was.
Oh yeah, well,
their signature sound is like beep, boop. It's like a mouse fart.
Yeah,
this thing.
You're talking about like short barrel and then the comp that makes it a little louder. You know, as far as sound, this is probably the loudest thing, and then this, and then this, maybe.
No, I think the AEG is louder.
Well, probably from the gears. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you got more moving, more snapping, but it's a very respectable sound in the Polarstar.
Don't let the Polarstars fool you. They're pretty loud.
Yeah, it's surprisingly loud. It sounded really good actually. As far as realism, this is a step up from like an electric gun where you just put the mag in, turn the safety off, and shoot. Same with the Polarstar, their function is the same.
Yeah.
Here you gotta work the charging handle, but unlike a gas gun, there's no bolt lock, there's no bolt release. This gun you manipulate like a real thing. Here it's a little bit closer, but it's still not as real as a gas blowback. So for ultimate realism, you definitely go gas blowback if that's a category you're considering.
Yeah.
Upgradability, yeah, let's mention that because especially as it applies to the Tippmann, there's really not much.
Not much out there now. You know, who knows in the future what people will make.
Yeah, especially internally. I mean, it's a
and you're looking at everything's mil spec on this thing. So front end and the buffer are all mil spec. So
yeah, you can probably swap any of these things onto there visually.
Yeah, and
I don't know about the grip.
The grip,
very crowded in there.
Proprietary as far as the grip goes. But
yeah, I don't think you could just get a Magpul real steel grip and toss it in there. It'll probably require some customization.
You know, you're talking about Polarstars, you can completely make a whole custom gun just buying parts separately, but that's a whole different level of how much money you can spend really to throw at it. But
right, gas blowbacks, they're all different. Like you have this M4 and you buy a KWM4, pretty much just throw this out and buy everything brand new, mags, internals, pretty much everything except the furniture, which is interchangeable. AEGs, everybody knows about that. You can swap out the spring. The ease of upgradability, or the ease of change, like let's say you want to use it indoors and outdoors. It's a huge pain in the butt. You need to. Some have quick change springs, which is still a little bit of a chore, but some guns you just got to take the gearbox apart, and most amateurs are not going to do that. That's a trip to the shop. So you basically need two guns, indoor, outdoor. And this same pain. Yeah. It's very proprietary. And the FPS changes so much because you're shooting off green gas. It's all over the place, so it's tough in that sense.
These two, though, are where you're looking at, you can have this one gun and take it pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, this you can't beat as far as changing settings. You can change the rate of fire, feet per second, all with a little computer base.
Yeah. Tunability, though, these two guns are where it's at. You can take this from 300 to 400 FPS, no problem. Same with this thing. Although this thing, you'd probably be able to play a lot longer. You know, you don't need batteries for it, which is a plus.
You mean for the little micro computer?
Yeah, well, this thing operates the whole solenoids and computer with a battery, and this thing is just air. So you could fill up your air tank as many times as you're at the place, and you never have to worry about a battery.
Yeah, you pop it open, there's a couple of Allen screws to adjust the feet per second and the rate of fire.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's nice, and it's not going to go anywhere once you lock it in. Alright, so we talked about all the pluses and minuses of all the guns. So if you had to pick a gun today, let's say price considered too, let's say you had $1,000 to spend, what would you pick
you know, trying to build your whole airsoft kit and everything, considering you only have $1,000, I would go with AEG. Somewhere in the low 300s, somewhere. Those are pretty reliable guns anyway.
Yeah, again, all this stuff depends on where you're playing and your field, your limits, your opponents that you're playing against. But I think as a general purpose gun, I like AEGs just because you still have that nice sound.
Yeah.
Something like this, you still have some recoil, and it's very efficient and very inexpensive. The gun, the battery, and a couple of magazines, and you're good to go. And it's pretty realistic. I mean, as far as airsoft goes, no lines, no tanks. So I probably would pick the AEG from everything here, even though this one had a little bit of a jelly recoil. Yeah. We did talk to, when we were at the paintball store, to a guy who owned the KWA
something,
and we even shouted. It felt a lot better than the Bolt, I gotta say. So
it had really nice recoil. I said comparable to a gas blowback.
Yeah, it's so when you're looking at electric blowback guns, don't just go to the Bolt. It seems to be the leader, and that's what I think of when I think of electric recoil. But there's a lot of companies do it. Marui's got the recoil shock ones, and the KWA has the ARG. It's weird. We're both, I think, picking this as far as you get this, and you have $500 left over to put all sorts of furniture in, and get some mags, get gear. Polarstar, you're gonna save all your pennies, and you have a gun.
And then you have a gun, and that's it. Like you can't buy mags. You're looking at spending more money on mags. You know, something to carry your tank in.
That's not
plus the tank, plus the rig. You're looking at, you know,
and
more
you gotta
money.
always fill it up. Here you have your battery, charge it at home, and you're good to go. Have one or two, and you'll never run out. This, you gotta go to the paintball store. It's an adventure.
It's about $5 or so to fill up your tank. But
it's not. You know. That once you spend the money on it, it's very inexpensive to operate. This same thing with this though. Once you get 2 batteries, you
couple mags, and you're good to go.
Yeah, this stuff, lots of gas, propane. It's more expensive than this. This thing, again, best of both worlds here. You got
no batteries, nothing.
Mags,
you just
high
need the
capacity,
air.
mid capacity mags, recoil, somewhat of a realistic feel. Sort of your options when you're out there buying your first gun or your second gun. These are kind of almost in a way different levels too. This is more of an entry because it's all inclusive. And then if you want to go nuts and you want to be, if you're all about getting those kills and being precise, you can't beat a Polarstar. No recoil and crazy rate of fire. So it's kind of where you fall on the spectrum. And these are sort of the guns to choose from. Got our opinions. Hopefully you guys got some useful information from this when picking your first gun or whatever further down the line in your airsoft career. And make sure you subscribe, stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next one. There you go, cornball.